You can host today.
Yeah,
I'm allowed host today. A mic drop. He's just given to me. Folks, welcome to the Rotterdam Nations Cup. We are live. We're trying this again. We did this just over 12 months ago at the Nations Cup in Hickstead, and it was a great success. So, folks, I hope you enjoy this. This is the Rotterdam exam for the Paris potentials. All the alliteration in there. In all seriousness, it's a really, really hot Grand Prix. It has to be headlined, or a hot Nations Cup. It has to be headlined by the Swedish team. We rarely see this outside of championships. All the big guns have been played. Charlotte Smet, you were so excited to see these in this. Thank you. This Longines League of Nations, this LLN in Rotterdam. The Swedes are in full force.
It's going to be a really exciting one, I think, because I feel that there's a couple of teams here that have brought their Paris team to Rotterdam as, I think, a dress rehearsal. The Swedes being one of them. I see the team that they have today be the team that travels to Paris. And the numbers don't lie. They are strong favorites. They have a 23% win chance. They have their big guns. They have Henrik van Eckermann, King Edward. They have Petter Frederiksen, Catch Me Not S. They have Malin Bayard Johnson, H&M Indiana. And then they have Rolf Gorang Bengtsson with Zucchero. And, you know, that is the base team, the strong, like they have won that Olympics together. They won the World Championships together. It's so exciting. I can't wait.
Going through the win chances for Rotterdam for this Longines League of Nations, which is about to kick off in about 3 minutes, folks. So the action is about to kick off. And I think King Edward is out first for the Swedes as well. So that'll be great. They lead the way. They have a 23% win chance. So again, that shows the sport of show jumping, how open it is, but at least we're quantifying that. So we still think a 75% chance that they don't win today, but they are our favorites. And they've got about twice the win chance of the next best team, which is Germany. They've been in flying form in normal Nations Cups, winning Rome, winning Le Ball. France, Brazil, Netherlands, all on 10%. We'll go into these teams in detail. Then it's the US and Ireland, both on 9%. Very tight between them, and two very different teams. The Irish team have a lot of their Paris named team out, but on second string horses. The US, I think that's a big talking point as well. I think they'll be putting their hands up after Carl Cook and Ken Farrington put up great performances in Le Ball. We've got some big team players with a lot of US history, a lot of US Olympic history as well. US Olympic medals from Tokyo. They're here. Then Belgium, 7%. Switzerland, 4%. I think they've left their two big guns off. Martin Fuchs not here, Steve Gerdat not here. So very much a contest to see who's going to back up that really, really strong duo in Paris. And Great Britain, 4%. Let's talk about them. We started at the top with Sweden. I want to talk about Great Britain here today. I think today is a big day for them. We said on a recent podcast that the GBR machine needs to start rumbling and grumbling and getting going before Paris. Dee, do you think that's going to start today?
I'll be well, sorry. The answer is no, I suppose, if I'm honest. The big GBR machine is not the machine I think that it was, or that it might be again. It's not to say that there isn't some very talented horses in there. There is. It just doesn't feel. I mean, we talk about not knowing who to. I don't know. I'll be honest. I talk about not knowing who the third person is for Switzerland yet. I'm backing up two big superstars. I know, sorry, it's Arlie and Yannick Sprunger, and Charlotte will give out to me if I don't start acknowledging that. But I don't feel the same about Britain in that I don't think maybe like Harry's number 11 in the world with in terms of athlete ranking, and then with a multitude of good horses, and Ben we know is able to deliver, has big horses, and knows how to deliver in a championship. Why am I thinking about them differently to the way I'm thinking about Dynamics and Leone J and then Yannick? I don't know why I'm thinking about it differently. I just feel different in terms of where British show jumping is right now compared to maybe where the Swiss are, or where the US are with their third person, certainly where the Irish are with their front four, probably the Germans with their front six, the Swedes with their front three. It feels different to me. And I don't know, I've lost excitement around British show jumping at the moment, recognizing that there is two big names in there and two big riders. So interested to see how it unfolds. But Sam, being honest, my first emotional reaction to am I excited to see it going again, or do I think it'll get going again, is it's not sitting in the storylines for me at the moment. It's not something that makes me jump with will it happen, will it not. I kind of feel like they're a little bit outside of the key stories at the moment for me.
Yeah, it's funny though, like form is temporary in this game, and it, like we said about Point Break and Ben Maher recently, doesn't surprise me if we're talking about them as superstars and medal winners in 6 months' time, or 3 months' time, or 2 months' time. Romeo 88 and Harry Charles, this is a combination with a lot of experience and a lot of big moments under their belt as well. Joseph Stockdale with Equine America Cacharel, they've done well. They've got a championship.
Sorry to interrupt you now. Point Break's about to jump.
Point Break's about to jump first in. It is going to be the Great British team that gets underway.
Do you think this horse could go? Is this you mentioned this when we met during the week, Charlotte? You said maybe it is Point Break.
I think it might be the team that we're seeing here in Rotterdam today is the team that might be going to Paris, which is interesting because we have them, ranked so low in the win chances.
Now, how much of that?
These graphics are interesting, aren't they? Are you guys watching on Clip My Horse?
Yeah.
The graphics are new, aren't they? The thing that comes down to tell you what the vertical. I've seen it. The branding is strong here. There's a lot of branding.
Yeah, the visuals are strong as well. Like it's a class. Like it makes you want to go there. I haven't been to Rotterdam.
Yeah, it looks great. It does look great.
I want to, like, the first thing as I looked onto this and I was like, oh, this needs to go on the bucket list that I need to see. Ben Maher is clear to the. It's not the final fence. I've done a typical first horse in the ring. It's a big thing in this. No, he has gone clear. And people sometimes cheer when they haven't jumped the last fence yet, and it's always like the first. Like that's the worst thing in jumping in a Nations Cup. It happens in Dublin quite a lot. Like they'll come out if the treble is like 2 or 3 from home, they'll come out the treble and everyone will celebrate, and it's like there's 2 more fences left on the first horse.
Clear round on the board.
That's only his 4th clear round at 5-star 160 this year, and he's done now 10 rounds.
Yeah, he's
which
gone
is
from
really
40% to 40%. Yeah. But it doesn't. It doesn't surprise me that they could get going late. Now I still think they lack. I mean, there's no Scott Brash on the team today. Like that has to be a massive talking point.
Do you think that when you say talking point, do you think that means, like you've always said to me, still probably Scott all the way through the year?
Yeah, but no. I mean, if ever France are next into the ring, and I'll make that point about Kevin Stout. I think on form, FX Francois Xavier Boudon, who's not here, but has been jumping brilliantly. He could be the one to go. It's Julien Epillard and Donatello Dodge in the ring right now, folks, by the way. But even the fact that their talisman here, their number 4 rider is Kevin Stout. He has been to every European Championships, 9 in a row since he made his debut in 2007. Don't forget that he was the individual European champion in 2009 at Windsor. He's been to every World Championship in that window as well. So firstly, don't just gloss over that, to not miss 9 consecutive European Championships is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And we always talk about him as the busiest man on the circuit, but he always jumps Nations Cups as well. He's a big team player. He commits to the team. He's been to all the World Championships. He's only missed 2 championships since he made his debut in 2007. Out of a 17 possible championships, he's done 15, but the 2 he missed were the first Olympic Games in 2008 and the most recent Olympic Games in Tokyo. If he misses his home Olympics, I think it's devastating. For a rider who is this big a team, like this synonymous with team jumping in France. I think if he missed it, it'd be huge. So I think Kevin Stout could be in. But what we were saying about the great British team with Scott Brash,
Donatello Dodge is clear. Sorry, you managed to talk about
your live stream must be well ahead of mine because I'm still watching him go to the last fence.
But that's sorry, I'll give you an extra minute. Okay, I'll give you an extra minute before
I'm with you, D. Yeah, Charlotte's in Sligo, so there's a bit of that's the downside.
It's a bit of a lag.
How is the West Coast of Ireland treating you, Charlotte? All good?
It's very wet today. That's why I'm very happy to be inside to be watching this, and the weather actually looks a lot better in Rotterdam. So it's exciting.
Don't be fooled, folks. So the Donatello Dodge, I want to say 5th highest rated horse in the world right now. Julien Epiard, also in the top 5 riders. I think he's number 4 in the world rankings at the moment. So an absolutely incredible combination, Donatello Dodge and Julien Epiard. The question will be, is it Dubai Desed or is it Donatello Dodge? Charlotte, you have strong feelings on that, don't you?
I still think that it will be Dubai to go as clear. Now I know Donatello just jumped clear, but as clear rates go, I think Dubai's is a lot higher. He's a lot more consistent. Plus, he has that championship experience, which I think really helps in those environments. So yeah, I do think it will be Dubai. As the French team goes here, I don't see any of these riders on the horses that they've brought today go to Paris. I think they will bring a completely different team. I'd see, it will be Julien, it will be Simon. Kevin, I'm not sure, but I think there will be different horses. The Belgians, though, I think are very interesting. I find it very hard to kind of pick their team. There's so many different options. We have very experienced horses. We have a lot of very young horses. A couple of those we will see here today with Peter de Vos's Casual DVZ, who we've mentioned before a lot, who's only 9 years old, and then Gilles Thomas's Hermitage Cologne. But I'm still kind of not sure, apart from Gregory Wathelet and James Bondahay, there's very few certainties, I feel, in the Belgian team. And I think what happens here in Rotterdam today will say a lot. Koen Verreken is in the ring now with Casanova de la Pomme. They had a very good Nations Cup season a couple of years ago. I think it was 2022, where they jumped 2 or 3 double clears for the Belgian team, but have kind of not really had that same form this year. So if they could pull out a double clear here today, that could go very far for them.
Well, don't say anything. Charlotte's nearly there. We'll just let her let it get the Sligo. Let it get the Sligo. But this is this is important. This is a 730, 714, 715 rated horse, Charlotte. So like you're into that top 150 in the world in that bracket in terms of rated by ELO. Any horse above 700. I think he's just celebrating some.
Yeah, no. The horse just looked came through the finish and then looked at the start gate and had a little bit of a moment. But we're 3 clears from 3, if I'm not mistaken. But that was that horse's first 5-star 160 round of 2024. So they've done plenty of mileage over the last 12.
Guess who this is next?
Oh, here we go. A legend of the sport.
Do you think you could do a graphic, Charlotte, while on a Facebook Live?
I can do a graphic. Yeah, I can try.
Well, I won't jinx it, but career 160 clears for Beauville, currently 49.
So it's going to go up to 50.
If he hits
he's surely getting 50 here. He's got 2 chances. No one's had a rail yet. And this, folks, if you're not a regular follower of show jumping or you're new to it, this horse, an individual Olympic medal in Tokyo and an individual Olympic medal at the World Championships in hurling, to hold 2 individual medals. Not even King Edward can say that right now. Explosion could never say that. Incredible.
More importantly, though, he's going for team gold. I think this year, he's the captain, he's the leader, the legend. Do you know, like I think
still goes through the left shoulder like a madman.
But oh goodness me, yeah, still clear. Beauville for me is the horse that you will be hoping to build that Dutch challenge on. Like there's There's two other. I mean, you've got if Beauville and Monaco go, which we don't yet know, although Charlotte is telling me that it won't be Monaco. If it is Eureka's, then I think there's no doubt for me that Beauville has to become the linchpin of the team. Willem Greve and either Grand Dorado or Highway, plus Harry on Eureka's, plus Kim. There it is. It's going to hit Sligo soon, but 4 from 4 clear rounds from 4. That's 50 clear rounds for Michael van der Vleuten with Beauville at 160 level career.
But look at the riders and horses that we've seen. I know we've had 4 from 4, clears in this class, but we've had incredibly strong first line riders come out. Like, it's the next horse we're going to see is literally the best horse in the world, the best horse that we've seen in modern day sport, King Edward. So no team starts a team competition with a weak or a weaker pair. They always bring their strong pairs to jump the clear. So that doesn't mean I think that this is an easy course to jump at all. I'm very excited to see King Edward here coming next because, as we've said before, he has the highest ELO rating ever recorded in show jumping of 819. But if he jumps clear here, if he jumps double clear here, that's going to go up and he's going to break his own record. And we're going to go to heights that we have never seen before. He's currently at an 87% clear rate, I think, in 2024. If he can jump 2 clear rounds here today, he's going to go to 9 from 10, and that is 90%, which is incredible.
Well, what's incredible is what we've just witnessed as well. So Beauville becoming only the 3rd horse currently active in the sport of show jumping to jump 50 career 160 clears at 5-star. So non-jump off rounds, but to get to 50, there's only 2 other active horses in the sport that have reached that milestone. They're both here, and one of them's in the ring. One of them is King Edward, and the other is Indiana. She actually tops the pile.
What are they on?
Well, when I was flagging this back a while, there must be around, Indiana's about hitting 60, I think. King Edward must be up around 55. I'll get you the exact number in a second. But I know that it's only them because I was flagging this up back in Miami time. At the moment, though, I'm not going to a spreadsheet because I'm watching the great King Edward absolutely pinging fences. It's serious quality to have the horses that we've just had in the ring. Like, we're only at the 5th horse in the ring. Every chance we're going to be 5 clears from 5. Do not be fooled by the quality. But this is as good as it gets.
I would love to see him break his own record, even though that would mean that he's, making that gap between him and my favorite girl ever, Dynamic's, bigger. But it's we've never seen this before. It's absolutely mind-blowing what this horse can do.
Like, whenever you get to watch a great, like watching, and like, it's just the ease with which he does it as well. But watching Roger Federer win another Grand Slam and extend already the best we've ever seen, extending that even further, you just, these are just moments you have to marvel. And like, you'll remember it as well. Like, you'll go back, you'll be visualizing King Edward winning those World Cup finals, King Edward winning that World Championship, King Edward back in Tokyo, but King Edward here in Rotterdam in this Longines League of Nations as well.
It looks so easy. It looks like they just jumped the 130 in Opklabeek last week, but it's a 160 Longines League of Nations. I wish I could make things look this easy.
That is the talent that you're seeing, isn't it? That is
it's
watching people in their flow state. Sorry, in anything. Like, I've just spent the morning with our analyst, Charlotte, watching, or like with Sean Murray and Georgia, and watching them. Oh, here's not like what's cool about it. Sorry, I just keep getting distracted. What's cool about these shows, and in fairness, Ocala League of Nations had it. St. Gallen probably would have had it, and now we're seeing it at Rotterdam. Like, this is the first time in a long time that I've watched jumping, and the first 6 horses, I'm actually like, oh my God. Like, to go Beauville into King Edward into Major Tom. We're now with Rodrigo Pessoa.
Major Tom, Major Tom on statistically it has got the worst form in 2024 of any horse in the field at the moment at 5-star 160.
He hasn't jumped a clear at all this year, and we were so excited about him. Was it last year when he
We
was
talked a lot about him last year, didn't we?
Yeah, Aachen last year he was like the talking horse in the sport, and now he's not from 4, and he's either going to go 1 from 5.
Tell you what, if this horse jumps clear, we're gonna have we're gonna have to start, like, we won't have had a rail. Like, at some point we're gonna have to work out whether it was amazing horses or whether this is gonna ride as an easy 160. And this fella, Charlotte, without telling you too much over in Sligo, this fella this fella is getting it done. So at some point now that's the first time I would say it, because now you get to ask the question on, are we actually heading towards like, your standard 160 clear rate is somewhere about 25%. Your tougher, your easier 160s might get as high as 33, so 1 in 3 jumping clear. Your tougher 160s might be down at 20%, so 1 in 5 jumping clear. But as a general rule, at 160, you're probably going to end up somewhere in the 25% zone. We're now 6 clears from 6 horses so far here. I would say quite unusual. Now, you allow the fact that at least 3 of them oh my God, this is great. Look who you're rolling into now. Laura Kraut Ballatino is going to be in here next. There's pressure building here from a US team point of view.
A very strong female team, I find. Interesting from a Paris point of view. I think there's a couple here that still have to prove themselves. We saw Callie Schott and Garant, for example. We saw them, Cal jump very well in the Grand Prix. They didn't jump the League of Nations, but they did jump the League of Nations in Abu Dhabi, I believe. Laura has already been to an Olympics with this horse, so we know that they can do it, but I don't know what their form hasn't been as strong this year, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare here. And the fact that we've had 6 clear rounds, if we do see a rail here, it kind of drops them even lower in our estimation than it would for them to have a rail on any other type of day. Well, the expectation is that they'll jump clear now.
The expectation is high now, but again, like, this will fade a little bit.
We have a rail at last, Charlotte.
There has been a rail. Now, look, that only puts them on a 50% clear rate so far this season. They were 3 from 5 coming in here at 5-star 160. They're now 3 from 6. It's still well above average, and it's still not bad by any stretch. We will see as the competition progresses and we get into the second and third line riders as well, what that clear rate does start to look at. Even at 5 from 5 clears, I think our expected clear rate for our first line riders was 51%. Now, that's very high to be expecting a clear rate of 51%. That shows the quality, that reflects the quality. It's going to be higher than that, but that doesn't make it significant. That doesn't put it beyond just a little bit of chance as well. So you're yet to see it. It doesn't look massive, when you're looking at where those verticals are relative, there's plenty of holes left in those standards as well. Like, it doesn't look like it's absolutely pushing max everywhere, but then easy to say that from where we're sat. You could sound very stupid in half an hour's time when there's 12 faults and 16 faults happening left, right, and center.
Yeah,
it's hard for the US, isn't it? I think with this is where, like, selection in sport, in team events, we see this, like the Euro 2024 championships in soccer are on at the moment. And sometimes there's not a wrong decision. I don't think, I think it's very strict. It's quite rare when you see someone name a team and they've left someone with clearly significantly lower form than someone that they've left off the team.
Who are you talking about? Jordan
No, I'm
Henderson?
just talking about in sport. I'm just no. I'm just saying in like England are playing 3 right backs at the moment. They have Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, and Trent Alexander all on the pitch, and they're just trying to shoehorn them into positions that aren't natural for them to get them on the pitch because they're good players. You don't have that.
You'll lose Charlotte now very quick.
Yeah, no. I'm not. I don't want to go there. You tried to distract me from that. What I would be saying with what a lot of these teams have is they have resources available. Some will be slightly better statistically on recent form, but others might be stronger on championship experience. And it's hard to, like, you do just have to evaluate that using a bit of intuition. And like, particularly when we're previewing eventing, I'm going to lose Charlotte again. You got to think about, well, what's the challenge going to be? Like, what type of course is it? What type of strengths and weaknesses will I need? And there's a little bit of that going on, I think, as well, even in jumping, you know, like, what kind of a course is it going to be? Do I have to take courses that have rideability, that have scope, that have stamina? You know, what are the attributes that I need to really weight it on? I'm saying that more to do with the US because I think they have a tough decision coming up. They've got a couple of combinations with a lot of form.
I'll tell you who might have a tough decision coming up.
Are you talking about the Swiss chef to keep?
Well, he doesn't put any faith in us anyway since you two got it so wrong with the format. But yeah, that guy.
Was it Michel Sword that told us about the format being the wrong way around?
Peter van der Waai.
Okay.
Yeah, he said. Who is that?
Yeah, well, our job at the time wasn't to pick Olympic teams; it was just to be on a podcast.
I hear you. It was Charlotte. Has news reached Sligo that
yes, it has.
That the main man is back, Vancouver de Landlore. A horse in the top 10% in the world, 91st percentile. In terms of his ELO ranking, 5-star, 160, 725 rating, age 15, experience compared to Orly's just young 10-year-old.
I know, but he did lose the Olympic gold for the French 3 years ago.
I don't know if we've had a podcast yet that we haven't talked about poor Penelope's round.
That's the first time. I haven't been the one to mention it though, so I'm quite glad that you
regularly. I mean, you did it literally on the last show. You did it.
Yeah.
And also, before jumping this clear round, he had only jumped 1 from 4 in 2024, whereas my good friend Orly is at 3 from 6. She can make that 4 from 7, going above 50% today.
It is interesting. Joking aside with this, like it's good and it's important whether we do it in eventing or jumping, whether you're able to have these type of conversations. It gets a little bit awkward at times because you know the people involved and you're thinking, oh, it's a small circle, I'm probably going to see these people. But the truth is, like, the Ballotino probably goes, you would think. Like, Laura and Ballotino have done enough to probably be there. But you have to put that into the, sorry to interrupt, but you have to put that into the context, Sam, of, like, Kent's superstars are coming. McLean has been such a hero. I think McLean's probably the one where you've got Callis, Alex, Contagious, I guess. Would they be, are any of them jumping out?
I'm not sure how much Contagious has been doing recently.
Callis is here. He's jumping here today. Yeah. I would have imagined it was Ilex for Paris, but if Ilex isn't here, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Contagious, I don't think so.
No. Kukuk is in the round. Sorry to interrupt you, but the Germans,
German team,
Sam threw a curveball in. Yeah, Sam's underdogs, he said, for the Olympics were the Germans, the most successful.
Well, Olympic I say underdogs because how much airtime you guys were giving to the Swiss and Ireland being your favorite. And by the way, I said as a curveball to be favorites. I think there's an argument to be made for Germany being favorites.
Big argument. And another, lads, we've only had one rail from 9 horses.
And it was the horse who didn't, there were the 2 nations that jumped off for the team gold medal in Tokyo were Sweden and the United States. There were 2 horses. There were 2 horses out of those teams, one Swedish horse and one US horse, that both produced a double clear. The others had a rail in the first round and clear in the second round. But the 2 double clears, one was a little horse called King Edward. The other was Alatinu for Laura Kraut. And they jumped off, and it was like 8 faults in the jump off as well. And it was there was 2 seconds in it by the end. It was a phenomenal team competition, that Tokyo team competition, when you throw in the French implosion as well. Very exciting. Belgium were third. Belgium kept finishing third in everything at that point. They went on to be third at the Europeans that year, and they were third at the Barcelona Nations Cup final as well that year. They were third everywhere.
They've been third this year as well.
They have in the last 2 Nations Cups. Here we go. It's your up and coming horse crush, Charlotte Smat.
I mean, she's there. She's already there.
No,
if it weren't for James Cancruz, Jane would have still made the Olympic selection for Ireland. I'm 100% sure with this horse. She's
They didn't put it on the long list, from what I know. I think they had Otis Blue ahead.
She is now on the reserve.
She is now.
List.
Okay, so, she should be. I mean, it's been an incredible season.
She's visually jumping well as well. I tell you, Michael Blake, let's get back to Rotterdam. I mean, all of the conversation so far has been around Paris. I think particularly with this Irish team, because they've named their Paris team, and only one of them is here, Daniel Coyle and Legacy, who we'll see in a couple of rounds' time. But we can take the conversation away from Paris, back on Rotterdam, back on the League of Nations. Ireland are top of the series, and we know how much Michael Blake loves winning cups.
Winning things.
This will mean everything to them. So there's probably
black flag at the water.
No. You're kidding.
Can you refresh your phone or something? Have you tried? Oh, good Lord, Charlotte.
Wait, no, I have to watch her jump this water first.
Oh my Lord, you're so far behind.
Yeah. I'm refreshing.
This is why we need to fly first class to all of these major sporting events and watch them in the stand and have the headsets on and get the then you get the fan emotion. Do you imagine if we were doing Gothenburg live with all the...
I can't even get you to come to Dublin. But
well, I go to Gothenburg. Oh yeah, there's definitely a foot in the water there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gothenburg is a great spot. Yeah, no, Rotterdam. I'd love to do them live. It's a lot of time on the road. You know, like you've got Hickstead tomorrow, you've got Rotterdam.
Hey, I know we're not professional commentators, but we are guilty of missing something there. That's a massive moment in this competition, with the clear race that we've seen for 8 faults. 8 faults for like I think even if you could come looking at how it's played out in round 1 with a lot of clears, a 4 would be expensive. Like it would have dropped them quite low down the win chances. 8's very expensive because your insurance is completely gone. Like you really do need anything that happens hereafter. You got to count, because you do not want to be counting 8. And like I said during the round, we know how much Ireland would have been going for this. I know it's Yves Dewey for Cian O'Connor, who's not Maurice, the selection decision for Paris, and again, it's not James Cancruz for Shane Sweetnam, who we've just seen. It's Ara Cumbella, but a horse that we love on ratings coming up, just showing a little bit of greenness and inexperience. Tim Gredley, we're onto the second line riders now. Imperial HBF, Tim Gredley. He's jumping for a place in Paris.
He is, absolutely.
I've got updated win chances post round 1.
Good man.
Cumbella.
Read them out.
Yeah. All right. This makes me feel important. Do you know what they were before? Because Ireland are now down to a 2% win chance.
Ireland
they were at 9.
Yeah. Sweden are a lot. I don't think that much has changed because of those clear rounds. Obviously the rails for Laura and Balotino, Shane and Cumbella will really drop them, so that they will suffer a lot more. USA are down to a 4% win chance, and Ireland are down to 2. They were both on
9% pre-competition. That was an unfortunate pre-competition number to be on. They were both tied, and they both capitulated.
You then have Belgium, Switzerland, and Great Britain who are next with 6%. A little bit of a jump for the Netherlands, or similar. 9% goes up to 10%, I think. Brazil, Major Tom has brought them up to a 14% win chance. They're now tied with Germany, which are second. 14 and 14 for Germany and Brazil. Favourites still out in front. 26% win chance after the first round is Sweden.
This is a big moment for Tim Gredley, I think.
Yeah.
Jumping clear in this is great for the Brits. Also, the Brits are fighting for a place in the final of the Longines League of Nations because they're in equal 8th place of the 10 nations. Only 8 go through to Barcelona, so they need to do well here today to try and get their spot in Barcelona.
That is interesting.
He made his team senior.
No, he had 2 penalties, 2 time.
Yeah.
That's going to be expensive.
2 time.
That's going to be expensive, yeah.
He competed at the World Equestrian Games back in 2006, Tim Gredley, and then he had to wait. And he was a young rider the year before, in 2005. So he went from, in fact, he went from juniors to young riders to WEG 04, 05, 06. That was some climb. And then he had to wait until 2023, like last year, before he'd get back on a championship team. So
I think he took a break. I think he took a break from riding, full stop.
He did. Yeah, he did. But he was jumping plenty. I mean, he would have been jumping plenty. I think the break only came maybe 8, 9 years ago, I'd have said, maybe.
The French are in now. Olivier Perrault.
They're sort of, it's a hard one to pick their team, but they'll have a plan. That's the one thing about them, is no one knows what the French plan ever is, but they have a plan and they'll execute it well. Like, I think they're always to be feared on home soil. They have a lot of riders that are doing things right, but they're not being loudly successful right now. They're just sort of simmering away, but no one can really see what they're doing.
Now, they did finish second in the Nations Cup in La Baule, so it's not like they haven't had any successes. And another clear. Yeah.
Another clear.
A prediction for how many teams go into round 2 on 0? I'm going to say 2 teams go into round 2 on 0.
So one more.
No, I mean no one's there yet. You know that they've got.
Oh, sorry.
You've got to have 3 clears.
Yeah,
but France are in a very good posse. Britain up against it a little bit. I mean, they have a 2, so they're not going to. I mean, they could be on 0, but they need Joe Stockdale and Harry Charles to both jump clear. I think technically every team can technically still finish round 1 on 0, but that's just very improbable. Ireland were the big losers from round 1. Sorry to say that, but that they suffered the most there, I think, from round 1. But the US as well.
6%. 6% drop in their win chance. 5% drop in the US win chance. Brazil, the big climbers.
Abdel Said Bonami for Belgium. Chance
already a Grand Prix winner. I think so. Already a Grand Prix winner this year. They won the LGCT Grand Prix in Doha at the beginning of the season. Jumped a couple of double clears in Nations Cups last year as well. You know, when she was only 10, she's 11 now. She's only 10 last year. Visually, very impressive horse, I find. Really interesting. It would be Abdel's first championships for Belgium because he changed from Egyptian nationality. I think he has a real chance to make it on the team. But I think it will depend on what he produces today. I think that will be very important.
Red Mills rider Charlotte.
Absolutely, yeah. Red Mills rider. Oh, it's looking good, looking solid.
It is looking good. I wasn't paying that much attention to Tim Gredley's round regarding the time faults. This didn't start off quick this round, and it's not that like this could be at risk of a time fault.
That word will travel there.
You know, we're okay. Sorry, I'm just seeing them at the water. Abdelaziz having to work. But all
Hmm.
good.
He's
All
keeping
good.
her clear though.
He is. Loads of scope to there.
He's done a good job here, to be honest. He's
He's got the time fault. I called it. He's got the time fault.
Yeah, he has one. Yeah.
Could be expensive. That's one team with one time fault and the Brits with two. And both of those teams had a clear from their first line rider.
It looked almost too easy with the first line riders, I think, and people start to settle and kind of slow down and have this false idea of confidence. They try to take their time because that's two second line riders that have a time penalty now.
It's one of the big, even putting Henrik van Eckermann and Julian Epiard to one side, who are, I would say, like insanely quick riders just in terms of natural pace and natural speed. It's one of the big telltales of a top class rider is it looks easy, but they're so much quicker. The Ben Mayers, the Steve Gerdas, the Fuchs of this world, they just look like they're schooling around. And when other riders ride like them visually, they're 2 or 3 seconds slower. And it's just the confidence to keep the flow through the turn, keep the rhythm. They're never taken back. It's the smoothness, it's the ease with which they do it.
I wonder if the chime has been changed because Koen Verreken and Casanova de la Poma I just saw there are 2 time penalties as well.
Oh. Yeah, I certainly didn't notice that.
Yeah. So I think that's been changed, and that means that Belgium has 1 penalty to count, at least 1 penalty to count, which means they cannot finish on 0 anymore. And I think that's very expensive.
Leopold van Asten is in the arena.
That's interesting because I believe he took Willem Greve and Granderado's spot on the team. We've discussed this a little bit internally and we'd wondered if there was an injury or anything like that. But apparently there wasn't. It was just that Granderado traveled a lot in the past couple of weeks and they were giving him some time, some quiet time. And I wonder if that either confirms his spot for Paris, meaning he's done enough, we've seen enough, his place is safe, or if that means that he wouldn't be going.
Oh, I think he's warmer.
I think he's going.
He's going.
That's a great round from Leopold van Asten, though.
Very strong, strong. And I think
third 160 of the year, first clear round of the year at this level.
Yeah, that's super.
Yeah, great
to be able to do that on home soil.
Yeah, good point.
That's important for him.
Yeah, he'd 1 down in each of his 2 classes. That's Bosch, Charlotte, 155, and the Rolex class.
That's very good. This is very good for the team.
They always, I mean, again, it's a home Nations Cup, and I know it's a League of Nations, so it's a Nations Cup on souped up. It'll mean even more. But yeah, 0-0, great start for the home team. Here is a big part of the all-conquering Swedes.
Is this? What do you think, Sam? I've asked Charlotte 1,000 times. Is this the horse?
Catch Me Not. Well, I think he was so happy with how Catch Me Not was in the indoor season at the beginning of 2024. He was happy with how the horse was going out to the World Cup finals as well. He was doing a lot right. So I think at that point he said, look, this is the one I know. This is my old friend. It's hard. When you got a horse feeling brilliant, feeling form of its life, 6 months out from Olympic Games, which is what February would have been, it's quite hard to be like, God, how are we going to make sure that the horse is still here in 6 months' time? So we haven't seen loads of him since then. And this is it. This is to see, can we has Petter been able to keep the old boy simmering away at peak?
18 years old. That's incredible. I don't think we have seen an 18-year-old horse compete at a major championship in a good while. I don't think I've found one.
And we could have
after
two.
2010.
We could have Kellum de Us and Catch Me
And we
Not.
could have two. Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's
You
a
could have
great testament
a
to all the
19-year-old
riders.
for Spain. You could have Rockefeller for Spain.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Petter and Catch Me Not are clear. Like that is a sight.
Super.
What's the clear rate, guys? Like, are we actually still on three rails in total for the whole class? Two for Compella and one for Laura.
Yeah,
and then a couple of time penalties.
The rest have been time faults.
Three rails from what?
Look at when you're watching, right? Look at how many empty holes there are on the standards, and then look at it in round 2 and just see how much they put up those fences in round 2. Because I'd say this course is going up in round 2. The only thing is no one wants.
Is it
there's
wet
not
there?
one.
Is it
there's not.
lashing?
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit of rain. There's no team manager there that's saying build it massive. Because even whoever they want, even if they've decisions to make and they want to see who to take to Paris, they don't want them. They don't
in trouble.
want them in trouble.
That's a good point. Yeah, nobody wants it to be massive.
This is an interesting horse for Brazil. Luciana Diniz, Vertigo du Desert, 15-year-old, high on the rating, like an ELO of 750 plus. We just haven't seen loads of them.
Highest rated in Brazil.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see this because Brazil can, if they can get Major Tom back on form, which
he has started
the journey back.
He started the journey back as of today.
Which he's back on form as of 15 minutes ago. And if they can get this combination on form, and you have the likes of Yuri Mansour.
But this combination isn't not in form, it's just not really jumping. I mean, like they've 2 160 so far this year, one clear, and then one clear at 150 level as well.
That was in Abu Dhabi, I think. They jumped the London League of Nations.
Yeah, it was the London League of Nations there, and then where else did they go? They went to it was Abu Dhabi. But there were only rounds this year, just the Abu Dhabi rounds, I think.
Yeah.
When she was competing for Portugal, she rode one of the great numbers horses of all time in Fit for Fun. Both,
it's top 5 of all time.
Volume, yeah. Rating, and when you look at output as well, when you look at volume of 5-star 160 clears and that sort of stuff as well, she's clear and she's emotional. You love that, like she's.
That's super.
That means a lot. Up to the skies, hands going everywhere, kissing the horse.
She missed the Pan Ams, didn't she? With a problem with the registration or something with the amount of time she was riding for Brazil. Is that right?
Yeah. I wonder, is she eligible to jump the Olympics for Brazil? I believe so.
I think she must be.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think so.
I love those pictures of people, the fans, or the kiss and cry area where they jump. I love that stuff.
If Yuri and Luciana were both on the Brazilian team and you had Yuri's son on the kiss and cry, I mean, he's the most animated of all of them. He's brilliant to watch on the kiss and cry. It's another team with 2 clears from 2. Add that to the Netherlands. Add that to
Hey, Brazil are going to jump in win chance again here because Pedro Vinícius is still up their sleeve, and it's one thing that we don't talk about that much in terms of when you're just looking at scores coming in. Cali Shot coming in next for the US. When you're just looking at scores coming in, it's really not taking into account who's jumped and who's still to come. So from a US point of view, it's the fact that Balutinu has a rail. It's not just the fact that it's the first round rider that has a rail. It's the fact that one of the linchpins has not been able to deliver the clear will impact it. When you think Pedro Vinícius is still up, with Nimrod de Muz is still there in the number 4 spot for Brazil, and that delivery of 3 first round clears, Sam, Brazil definitely for me would move into possibly favourites even as the team to finish the first round with a clean slate. Whoa, Callie is absolutely flying around here. Garant.
This is a horse who was actually I think selected to compete at the Olympics in Tokyo with back with BZ Madden, but she opted not to jump him because he was quite young, and has since been moved to Callie Scott, actually bred in the Netherlands, so he's back on home soil now, competing here. I bet his breeder Ilse Boss will be there to watch it. It's going great.
I am not an expert, but I would say, from a very untrained eye point of view,
Super.
That is the best round I've seen.
It was quick.
Yeah, but it didn't look out of control quick either. Like it went flow quick. Like in my opinion, anyway, I thought it looked lovely.
The American style is
real.
It's real trust. It's very, again, which is Julien Eppiard and Henrik Rebecca. You know, it's kind of shorter reins, hands forward seat, light seat. Everything is forward though. It's just like let the horse run and jump.
They're delighted.
Keep it simple. Have we overlooked I don't think we've talked about Germany enough here, folks. We've seen Christian Kuka-Checker. He'd be many people's idea of a team player come Paris. We've got the great Marcus Enning with Coolio 42. He's probably more people be associating Marcus currently with Stargold, who he won Aachen with last year. But Coolio's the horse she's got here. United Touch and Richie Vogel. Now they are the 5-star Grand Prix winners, the Rolex Grand Prix winners from Geneva. That's a Grand Slam event. And then there's Zinedine and Philip Weisau, for who anyone who listens to this show regularly, we cannot say enough about Zinedine. The form horse in the world at 5-star 160 on numbers, in terms of volume and quality and clinical and efficiency.
Charlotte, you're in.
Yeah, before we go to Germany, Sam, let's watch Aurelie. We jump a clear round for Janneke Sprunger here, and
given that Vancouver the Landlord already has a clear round.
She just needs to confirm her spot for Paris. Like that's she's just going to.
Which is now under more pressure than it was.
They've had a stop. Are you there? Are you with us? Where are you, Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm here. Wait, no, I'm not. I am now. Oh no. No, she's just lost her place.
Horse went a bit too careful. Didn't want to jump the vertical. Which a bit green, just backing off a little bit. And see what they do with the open water. I mean, you don't want to have a stop and then become, no, but he's fine now. He's going now. There's still round 2.
Yeah, but that's difficult to take to an Olympics where the fences are more impressive. You know, there's this whole artwork of course builders, and every year it takes some horses out of the running because it is so visually impressive.
Yeah, she's going to override a little bit there now as well.
Yeah,
that's hard. And the thing with the stop as well is with the time penalties racking up, it just looks harsh. I mean, that could be one of the great stories. Like, Derm, you pride yourself on, and you pride Equitans on being storytellers and us being able to do husband and wife graphics of Sweden.
You're actually more the husband and wife thing than me, but
Sweden versus Switzerland. I mean, that's a story that can be easily played out. I mean,
I hear you. And to be honest, like if you look at early form, like that is unusual, but it did happen, and it did happen in Abu Dhabi, Charlotte. There was a round 1 that they jumped in Abu Dhabi with 22 penalties, 22 again today. But since Abu Dhabi, they've been to Ocala, Fontainebleau, St. Gallen, clear rounds in all those spots.
Yeah.
Did 1 time penalty in the first round in the Grand Prix qualifier. Did 2 down in the LLN in Ocala. In the 155, they had 1 time penalty.
They were double clear in the Abu Dhabi LLN
though. In the 150. In the 150 in the Grand Prix qualifier.
That's a schooling round. I'm okay with that.
22 for me is a lot for any schooling round. But I hear you.
You'd have to dive into it. You'd have to look at it. You'd have to see what happened. Marcus
Yeah.
Denning's in the ring.
Coolio. Charlotte, I think
Oh.
I put Coolio as one of my dark horses recently because the same people who,
He just knocked number 1.
the
I
same
missed
people
that.
who own Star Gold own this horse.
Interesting. It's a very new horse, quite a relatively new horse for Marcus, which is interesting. Moved from Marcel Marshall, I think, also a
Yeah.
German rider.
Yeah.
Jumping super now, but I think Yannick Sprungen already tried to do 5 strides in that line, and I think it's supposed to be 4.
Yeah, I think you're right. They weren't there on 4 anyway.
No.
Brazil.
The Germans are strong here.
This puts Brazil ahead of the Germans, guys.
Yeah, I think this also possibly puts Marcus Enning out of the running for Paris. 2 fences down.
Coolio. What's Coolio? Is Star Gold out of the running?
I don't know when we last saw Star Gold.
Yeah,
That's fair. There's so many German horses. Like, we know that we've got 3 teams. Is that what you decided during the week, Charlotte? Three German teams.
I think there's 3 solid ones. Yeah, the 3 boys that are here: Kuckuck, Vogel, and Weishaupt, and then you have the girls that won in Rome with Kendra Clarissa Brinkhoff, Jana Wargers, Jörne Spree. Then we have Daniel Deusser, Marcus Enning. Who else have we got? I'm sure.
Have you named all of the ones that are here?
All the ones that are here, yeah.
Let's
get Sophie Hinners on there as well. No, sorry. Jana Friederike Meyer Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Mark McCauley in next, Lady Amara.
The breeder is there on the Kiss and Cry, William Hickey.
Going to be interesting. Okay, let's have a quick feel for win chances at the end of this. Sweden are still going to be way out in front.
Brazil goes second. Brazil goes second for me, surely.
Germany were second. They've dropped out without faults from Marcus Enning. They'll drop
they
out.
have 2 very strong horses following.
They were joint second, Sam, with Brazil.
They were joint second with Brazil, so that will change. But again, you know, the nature of the drop score, it's just the win chances are going to drop a good bit because it's probability. But as Charlotte says, 2 good combinations to follow now. All well and good in theory of having 2 good combinations. They have to deliver. Mark McCauley's delivering here. It would be some roller coaster for the Irish if they could somehow muster 3 clears after
this horse is in pretty good form, coming off the back of clears in Con.
Watch him coming out of the treble.
She's such a fighter.
7 160s this year, 4 clears already in those.
Charlotte, have you seen them coming out the treble yet?
Yes. Yeah, she's
Mark McCauley. I mean, one leg. Oh, he still hasn't got that stirrup back.
Oh, stirrup.
He's been jumping so his right leg came out over the back of the saddle, coming out the treble combination. He has jumped at least 8 fences since then with 1 foot in the irons. That's incredible balance.
I think he took both feet out.
He's lost both.
He's
jumped. This is
took
insane.
it out, pal.
That's kind of right of the month type stuff, isn't it? You jump
that is
over half a 5-star 160 Nations Cup with no foot in the stirrups and jumping clear. Good man.
I have win chances coming in.
Oh, so fast. Go Georgia Patrick. Okay, I'm gonna Sweden up to what? 35, 38?
27. Sweden are favourites, 27% win chance. They've pushed out their win chance by an additional 4%. France are currently second.
Okay.
Oh my God.
15, joined with Brazil. 15.
Guys, I don't often say this, but get on the socials and start looking for Mark McCauley picks. They won't be there yet, but like that head on, or just go on to Clip My Horse and watch it back. Sorry, FEI TV, Clip My Horse, same thing. That's
a combination this is. Like, they know each other so well, and you know they've delivered.
Really they were unlucky not to go, weren't they? They were unlucky not to go to Paris. Would you say? I mean,
I think so.
I was thinking that we would need to drop off this because I mean we're only halfway through the first half, and there's a halftime interval as well, between the two rounds. Technically, Belgium are the only team that cannot finish on 0 at the moment. There's an arena break for maintenance. This is a class competition. It's a low scoring competition. There's no doubt about that. But the beauty of that is it makes every penalty so painful and so valid. A lot of pressure. I think what would you rather, Charlotte Smith? You're on your first Nations Cup. Firstly, which country are you going to be jumping for in your first Nations Cup?
If I ever get the chance to jump on a Nations Cup, I will happily do it for any country. I think the chances are quite split.
Okay. We'll leave that.
So we'll leave that where it is.
Charlotte was in the Europeans.
Yeah. No, well, look, I'm going for a first Nations Cup. Which stadium? Which Nations Cup do you want to be? Do you want to be your first one that you're jumping
in? My first one, my favorite one would be Aachen, but I definitely don't want Aachen to be my first one. Maybe just a nice 3-star EEF to ease into it.
Don't ease in. Just go in at the top.
I'd be double.
Just go to Aachen. Just go to Aachen. I'll have a support team in Aachen if you guys come and watch me.
You'd have a support army.
I would definitely go to watch you jump Aachen. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so now those are the first two questions. You've definitely avoided one. You've answered the other. Now, do you want it to be chaos and carnage, and you go in and you're like, okay, today is just a fighting day, and I'm not expected to jump a clear. I'm just expected to even a day when if you come out of the ring with 4 faults, it's just like, okay, that's still a team job. Or do you want to be in an arena like this where okay, this is jumping well, this course is jumping well, this course is jumping clinical. If I come out of the ring with anything but a clear, I've basically let the team down. Which do you prefer, carnage or clinical?
I would prefer carnage. I think I love the idea of being an underdog because you can't really disappoint that much. If you mess up and come out with 17 penalties, that's what people are expecting of you. But if everyone's jumping clear and you're the only one not to, then that's, very disappointing. At least if everyone's kind of having a hard time out there, you can kind of hide in the masses.
Is my camera off? Is it just a blank screen? I've gone back to the screen. All I can see is just black screen.
You've been frozen
for a while.
It's a long time. What's wrong with mine? Oh, do you know what I did? When you asked me, I wonder if this is the point that happened. When you asked me about career clear rounds, I went and did a massive query on career clear rounds at 5-star 160 to get the answer to what was King Edward on and what was Indiana on. I never got the answer, and my picture probably froze at that point.
I could remove you and add you again. I'll remove you. And then add you and see if that works.
Well, you remove. I'll leave and I'll come back into the show.
Okay, you do that.
Bye, everyone. I'll be back for what, 4th riders in round 2.
I found something interesting there today, Charlotte, this morning, working with the analyst team, Georgia and Sean. In our dashboards, you can look at all of the different results parsed up in different ways. I was getting them to look at Dynamics, Leone, King Edward. I actually put in Explosion just for a bit of context, and James Can Cruise. And I got them to take out all round one and all round 2s, because I was telling them that, I was saying to them that we were going on about Electric Blue Peas clear rounds, and that the Fuchs camp were like, well, don't discount these jump offs. So I was saying to the team, look, show me just jump offs. And essentially, it's kind of like, show me the conversion rate. So I've asked them to generate a view that we can send to commentary teams, or we can send to event organizers or social media teams. As soon as the round 1, round 2 is finished, you can take your jump off riders and we can give you the record of what they're like at 150, 155, or 160 jump offs. So how many rounds they've jumped, how many clears they've jumped, and how and their wins and podiums, like how they convert essentially. The big boys, and when you go to I'll give you the numbers, I'll publish the numbers on social later. But there was one really big finding. Sam, did they send it to you? I think they might have. I'm just going to pull it up for you, Charlotte.
Was this the jump-offs?
Yeah, did you get a chance to actually look at it? Because Sean gave it to me, and he said, what's your angle? And I was looking at it, and actually, Charlotte, I'm going to give you the numbers. King Edward, 24 rounds, 19 clears. James Can Cruz, 10 rounds, 8 clears. Explosion,
160 jump offs. Yeah.
Explosion was 22 rounds, 16 clears. So actually, James Can Cruz ended up having an 80% clear rate, like jumping clear rate in his 160, his 5-star 160 jump offs. 80% clear rate. Along same as King Edward and even higher than Explosion. But King Edward had 8 wins. Explosion had 10 wins. James Can Cruz has 1 win. He's jumping clear. He's jumping clear, but not fast enough, not risky enough. Too long in the air.
Too long in the air. Too much on the air.
Isn't it interesting? Yeah. Like just on numbers, without being able, for me, I couldn't tell too much time in the air. I wouldn't have the eye for it to know that. But just seeing that he's got a higher clear rate in jump offs, but he's got 1 win and the others have double figure wins.
We have discussed whether James Can Cruz is a slow horse, and I was always quite against that. But hearing those numbers, it's hard to argue otherwise.
But maybe not slow, but because of that, like he can look fast. He can look fast on the ground speed, but maybe slow because of the hang time or whatever you call it. Like,
and I agree with Sam. Yeah. He spends a lot of time in the air. He gives them all a lot of air. A horse like both of Juliette Ebayar's horses, for example, they slither over. Like they are, it's the shortest distance between, their body and the pole. Yeah.
That will suit team, won't it, in terms of Olympic format, just delivering 2 clear rounds?
As long as it doesn't get a time fault. God help you coming out looking at Michael Blake, haven't gotten a time fault. Really? Daniel Coyle and Legacy did it in Herning.
Oh yeah. But I don't see James Can Cruz as a horse that is that prone to getting a time penalty.
No, he won't get it. No. It's a different type of, when we're talking about all out speed, like just rewind to the Le Ball jump off, and to be fair to, as in insane speed, like it's.
Do you think it's a metric, Sam? Like, because Leone J is 6 from 12, like wins from jump offs again. Like,
Explosion's 10 from 22, isn't he? And
wins from 22. But what I'm thinking is like jump off conversions or something like that. Does it feel like
jump off OBP was something I wanted to do, because I think you're
who you beat, yeah. But that does depend on the size of the jump offs as well. Like just not converting jump offs.
You do have to, but you've got to be careful. You've still got to look behind it. You got to look at who stopped you converting, because like you guys say with Monaco, you'd bite my head off for saying that, oh, Monaco's slow. You just, I'd be saying he always finds one that's too quick, so you can't say he's a fast enough horse. Like I think, and you'd be like, yeah, but look how many times he's come second, and look who's beaten him to come second. You cannot say this horse is slow. So if you put Monaco in on this data, you'd be at least James Can Cruz has won one.
Oh, that's true. No, you are right, but I do still think that there is an argument to be made for Monaco, and I think it's just he's been incredibly unlucky, because he has almost won a Grand Prix, and it was actually in Cannes last year, and he was the fastest, and he had the last fence down in a jump off. So he can. Do
you really think he's not going to Paris with Charlotte?
I really think so. Now, that is depending on what Eurocast does here today, because there's a couple of horses that I have always supported that have been a little bit disappointing here today. So, but yeah, no, I think if it was a plan for Monaco
Curse
to
of
go,
Charlotte.
it's class.
Never know. My pal Funky Fred might make it yet.
Yeah, he's up there on ratings. He's the 4th highest
I
rated.
don't think he's on the team. I don't think he's on the long list squad.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I don't think so. But it wouldn't be unheard of.
Joe Stockdale is in the ring now.
There's a young man, Joseph Stockdale. He's fighting for a place in Paris. This is the Rotterdam.
And he could get it. I think he could get it. As the Brits go, I think this combination is the one that's most on form.
If I had to give you a team of 4, Nate, yeah, you're dead right about the 5 strides and Yannicka, by the way. If a team of 4, boys v girls, Derm, you're captain of the boys, Charlotte, you're captain of the girls.
We could just make it a German if you wanted. We could just do German boys against German girls in Aachen.
You actually could.
Wanted.
You actually could.
On the Saturday night. On the Saturday night, we could or maybe the Friday night. We could just do boys against girls.
Is that in the water?
No, still clear so far.
This is a big round for them. They jumped double clear in Rome a couple of weeks ago in the Grand Prix.
Yeah, all good.
Well on time as well.
This is super.
That was a safe round. Is he still under 25?
I think so. Does this put the Brits on 0? Do they finish this round on 0?
One of the had time penalties.
The time penalty. Oh goodness me, yeah.
Yeah, but Harry, Charles, and Romeo are to come. That was very close to a foot in the water.
Very, very close. They were lucky.
Romeo was given a foot in the water at Aachen last year. It was quite controversial. I don't think he. It's judging that water is subjective. There's controversy around that.
Don't know if it's that subjective.
It is subjective.
What, like whether they put their foot in the water or not?
No, well, on the tape. Whether they mark the tape.
Is it a boot or is it a foot?
It sounds pretty objective to me.
No.
Well, like it's not up. I mean, they did or they didn't. Is it not like what the?
That's what you. In theory, it's not subjective. In reality, it is subjective.
Because what, they're not good enough at looking at it?
Open to interpretation. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously there's very clear ones. And obviously it's both ways, but there is a grey.
Is it whether the boot hits the plasticine or whether it's the actual foot of the horse?
The fetlock or the hoof. Yeah. Or to be honest, sometimes even, like there can be a little bit of contact, but then they look at the plastic and see is it marked or not.
I'm going to go out on a limb, guys, and I'm going to say that even though no horse barely knocks a rail, I don't think Simon de Lestre is going to jump clear.
Okay.
Very controversial.
They have not jumped clear since they had a clear round in a GC class in Mexico, but they're not in great form.
Neither was Major Tom. Major Tom hadn't jumped.
Sorry, if you're not in good form, the Rotterdam LLN is the place to recover that form and to get your mojo going again.
Ooh, very disunited coming around to the to that wall, having to fight and is so close to the wings, the right hand wings in the double. He's coming to the last though, and Dermot Byrne is wrong.
Welcome to Rotterdam, where hopes and dreams are revived for everybody. Look at all these smiling faces at the finish.
If there was money on the line, that could have gone either way.
What's the clear rate here, guys? Is the clear rate like 80, 85%?
France has now finished on 0 penalties. They have 0 penalties. They finished this round on 0. We have 1 on 2 penalties and 1 on 0.
But Kevin Stout needs to jump because he's got to win a place for Paris. He could have been at this point. They could have told him already, Kev, you're going to Paris. You're our man. And Stout, we trust.
Who's the French team there? Just remind me for Paris. Both of you, just top of your heads.
Julien Epiard
with
Dubai. Simon de Lestre came in Jolly Jumper.
Okay.
And then, hang on, what are the numbers? What would the
numbers would
FX.
suggest it's FX and Brazil de
FX.
Mezil, the Dublin winner.
But how close is it?
He's a 751 rating. Dexter Fontenay for Simon de Lestre is 737. Then you've got
Kevin.
Scuderia 19, Viking de la Russerie with Kevin.
That's who's here, isn't it? Jumping as fourth. I think that's.
Is there a case for Jean Sadron and Dexter de Courglen?
Didn't they
They're
take
next.
Jean Sadran somewhere recently?
It's who you got to leave on for a home
Guess
Olympic
who's
walk.
next? Charlotte,
There
buckle up.
The Belgian
I think
boy.
we might be looking at the new highest rated 9-year-old in the world. If Casual jumps well here, he could
Charlotte.
take the place back from Tabasco to Toxandria. I'm not saying that I necessarily want him to, but I just love this kind of rivalry between the two.
This is the problem.
both-
When you've got so many crushes, sometimes you end up like sometimes they meet.
I am polyamorous when it comes to horses, and I think that's absolutely okay.
728 for Tabasco de Toxandria with Kendrick Lissier Brinktop, 728. Casual DV, who led for a lot of the year, Pietro de Vos, 725. Those two are well out in front as the two top-rated 9-year-olds at the halfway point of 2024. Pietro de Vos is at the water now in Rotterdam, and he's clear. And if
they're putting in some workload this season, aren't they? Some volume.
Would they go to Paris? It's only a 9-year-old.
Yeah, but they put in the volume. They're putting in double League of Nations.
It'll be hard. It'll be hard to leave them home.
It will be hard to leave them home.
This record.
It'll be even harder now.
They are, they've added another clear. So they are now they will have jumped 10 rounds. They have jumped 10 rounds at 160 and 7 of them are clear. You're at the 70% clear rate, 160. Add that to 155, 2 from 2. It's been an exceptional year. It's 10 clear rounds from 14 rounds jumped at 150 and above for Casual DV, and Charlotte, I expect, will go back now to the top rated 9-year-old in the world.
Unless, I don't want to jinx it, but there is another round to be jumped here today and potentially a Grand Prix on Sunday. So it all depends on what he does after. But right now, he will go ahead of Tabasco.
They had 2 down in the Grand Prix in Rome, having jumped clear in the Nations Cup on the Friday.
This is super. This is great.
The worst Belgium can finish round 1 on is 3.
Yeah,
they're not out of it.
Which is annoying.
But surely, if ever there's a Nations Cup going to be 1 on 0 at the end of round 2, it's here. This is a 0. It's going to take 2 clean sheets to win this, surely.
Fourth place. I know. Sorry, we are enjoying the League of Nations, but setting everything into context for Paris. Charlotte, you named a Dutch team there for me earlier, and actually, I don't think you had KMN and Imagine in it. But we have had them in it pretty much all. Not in the 3, but felt to me until it feels to me like the number 4.
It feels to me like the number 4 too. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you.
Okay.
We briefly touched on Lars Kersten and Funky Fred Marienshoff because I think there is a case, but the form would suggest Kim Emmen and Imagine that we're seeing right now. Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
They're really good. Gothenburg as well, Sam, you'll remember. I think they
she'd make the Ryder Cup team, wouldn't she? That if we had 12. She'd make the top 12.
We actually haven't released that episode yet. That is a treat for people where we designed a new format of the sport, 12v12.
12 boys, 12 girls, 100 grand each. Money's irrelevant. Pride is everything. Oh, that's expensive for the home team. 0.2 of a second over. No, not 200s. 2/10. I think they're 0.28 over the time. Time for Kim in.
Yeah.
Good round again. That there's a bit of airtime was costing them there, but it was a couple of people have been caught. Like they'd be kicked. I think some of the people who've had time faults would be kicking themselves and want to go again because they probably could.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that she had one time fault in her last round in Saint-Tropez.
Oh, it's such a
Here
pain,
come
yeah.
the stats.
Well, I do think that's interesting.
He got this reputation, Charlotte. I'd say a lot of people first saw Echo ratings back in 2016 in the Event Rider Masters series, where we were doing a lot of the analyst role in live stream productions. And Deirdre became the weatherman, like the analyst that they would fly to, and he was quite negative. He was very animated and
Not
whatever.
negative.
No,
I
I got
just
this
did-
reputation for like have you been cut down by Dermot Byrne? Like every rider.
No, that is absolutely, that's rubbish. And by the way, I did not.
Has he shot you down yet? Has he told you how bad your dressage average is yet, or how likely?
Well,
No,
a lot of you do believe that your dressage is better than it is, and just me telling you your average is not putting you down. It's actually just me telling you your average. So
she's in. The horse that has the most 5-star 160 clear rounds in the world right now of any active horse. It's H&M Indiana.
Oh my God, this
Alan
is like
Barrier Johnson.
Sorry, shouldn't have cut across you while you were in the end of that.
Well, just keep doing it. Just keep
doing
it. Put your
Garant and Cali shot. This is the first time since that round. Like Indiana is moving here.
She's not at risk of a time penalty. Yeah.
No, but sorry. Visually though, the control and the speed, it's this round and it's the US round that has looked different to me. Is that hang time? Is that what I'm seeing? Is it?
No. That is desire to go forward. Like that. This horse, she sees fences and she wants to accelerate. But the power.
She wants to go.
Oh, it's so good to watch, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this is.
I can't. I can't. I've no poker face, Charlotte. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
She's had a rail.
Yeah,
come out double.
She had
terrible. Yeah, bad for Indiana, but it's so good for the competition. So now you're going to go because we still have a third Brazilian rider in now, don't we? So we've had Rodrigo Pessoa, we've had Luciana Diniz, and I think we have Pedro Vinícius in 4. Who's
Stefan de Freitas Barsha.
And Zucchero, Rolf Joran Benson, the great Rolf, with Zucchero, with the young Zucchero. I mean, he's 12, he's not that young.
Sweden are down to a 17% win chance, dropped to 10% from one rail. Do you remember, Sam, we used to talk about like critical moments in a competition?
Yeah, that was huge. This was the Indiana rail there has been huge.
That was big.
Yeah.
That was big.
But what it does is the dynamic now is it says Rolf Joran Benson, if Zucchero is the championship horse and the Olympic horse that you have prepared him and built him to be, he must now go and do the job. He must now make up for the teammate's mistake.
Which, by the way, Mark and Cosmopolitan did for Indiana in hurling. But Zucchero is coming off the back of his own challenges in Rome.
The only with the clear, it does feel like a friendly before the big one, doesn't it? It feels like this sort of.
It does feel like a friendly, but to be honest, I've totally overlooked the Brazilians. Now I don't know necessarily if this is reflective of I mean, this clear rate is going to be abnormally high, I feel. But the Brazilians are going to give this Nations Cup a right good go now. Like we're before Nimrod the Muse for Pedro Vinícius. It looks like they are getting. Oh, I mean, we're only halfway around. We're heading towards the water now.
Jumped out well.
This is only the horse's first 5-star 160 this year. They've actually not competed that much since the Pan Am Games. Which
would you like a 160 clear? Welcome to Rotterdam.
Was that? Did you just watch him? Did you watch him jump the last fence there?
No, I was just. I've
seen him jump the last fence now.
Yeah.
Where are you, Charlotte? Is he over the first fence yet in Sligo?
Very funny. He's coming down to the last fence now. But this is the reigning Pan American champion. This combination, and this is their first
That one's
5-star
over my
since
head.
that win.
Okay.
Since that win, and yeah, this is very strong. This could be a combination for Paris.
How many teams have potentially put their Olympic team here? Like the Swedes have.
Just
The
the Swedes, isn't
Brazilians.
it? Brazilians maybe, but
Maybe,
sure,
I mean,
Yuri's going to
what have Yuri and what's Marlon got? I don't know if they're top horses. The Swiss haven't. The Irish haven't. The Brits, we don't know. They're going.
Well, the
okay.
Brits probably have done Point
Belgians, we
Break
don't
and
know.
Romeo. I think the Brits have done their best, and it's up to the two.
And,
it's up to
and Casherel. I see this team
Casherel, yeah.
being it for the Brits.
Scott Brash is hurling potato
no,
chips.
surely not Point Break.
Who would you take? Dallas, Vegas, Basili?
Yeah,
I think Ben's horses are enough on the up. He'll know. He's so good at producing. Again, if you're going to take someone on a less exposed horse, Ben Mayer.
this next rider in Jessica Springsteen, I think are.
They were part of that.
I don't think.
Thing.
Yeah, they are. But I don't know that they've done enough in the cycle, if I'm being honest.
Well, there's no point in being dishonest.
What I mean is, it's a tricky thing to say. You're like, oh, do you really say that? Is that right? But I don't know. Like, they're not part.
You're allowed to talk about it. Oh, it's jumped that well, though.
They haven't done much since Geneva.
They're not part of my thinking. Yeah.
But watch this. Do you watch?
I'm looking. Yeah, it's very
like through the triple combination and through the vertical before. Now she's having to belt her way down to the water.
She's got a big wide line.
Yeah. Bucking on the turn. Now I mean, they have that. This could go up 3 holes and they wouldn't have had a fence down.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with that.
Visually, this is stunning, but
yeah,
I agree with you. No. The body of work is. I know there's probably been a bit of time off and stuff. You know, it's hard to. You can't be.
It looked very calm and controlled and good, didn't it? It's over now in Dublin.
Yeah, it was a super round. It was a super
Charlotte,
round. That put
the
US.
This is a beautiful round, like, and very important for them as well. And Jessica is such a strong rider. Like, she is just visually, but also technically as well, and that counts for a lot. Plus, they were in Tokyo. You know, they have that experience.
But could you spare a thought for the US selectors right now? Because Kent and Carl put down a massive marker last week, right? And then they're coming here and you're instantly drawn to Laura Kraut and McLean Ward. That's how the team's been done, top and bottom, top and tail with Laura Kraut, McLean Ward. And then you've Callie Scott and Jessica Springsteen in the middle. But it's gone, like, Laura's had a rail. Callie and Jessica are clear. It's getting difficult now.
Did you watch Laura Kraut drop her bottle? Oh, no.
Yeah, I saw the emotion. I mean, they are a proper team. Team USA is a real thing. US Equestrian, like Team USA is, in terms of, like, if there's one team that just absolutely states its presence in equestrian sports, that's them. The jackets, everyone's got if you're connected to that team, you got one.
Romain Duguay for the Swiss. They have a bit of, they need the clear after Aurélie's round. They can't really fault anything anymore. This is one of the very few combinations that jumped in the Grand Prix in St. Gallen. And they were clear over fences, but at a time penalty. I think they finished either second or third, because there was only one clear round in that Grand Prix, and that was Martin Fuchs and Commissar Pezzi. But I think that was their only 5-star 160 round, unless there's one more. No, but I think it was the only one. And they jumped clear over fences, just the time penalty. I don't think we'll see them in Paris, but it's still, you know, this is important for them, you know, to just be here and represent their country. It's still a big moment, and they're doing well so far. Well,
the curse of Charlotte has just struck. I think they've had a foot in the water.
Oh.
Again, very close though. Hunger Games du Champ du Bois. 6 words, 2 languages. Where do we all stand on the names of horses? Cian O'Connor made a point about this. Like a big part of why Coolmore changed horses' names, he talks about fan engagement and fan connection. He's like, he wants people to know, like Kilkenny, Morris. He's had a load of Tipperary. They changed so they changed the names, and then he gets a lot of stick for it because breeders sometimes lose their prefixes for doing it.
It was nearly good when you forgot Cian O'Connor horse names whilst making a point about Cian O'Connor creating memorable horse names.
Fair enough. And he did have Waterford Crystal, which he didn't have anything out of that. That was just the brand. That was quite clever because at the Olympics they make you drop the prefix. So if you had SAP Talisman, just becomes Talisman. You drop the SAP for the Olympic Games. You have to drop those sponsor things. So Cian O'Connor, the horse, was sponsored by Waterford Crystal. But they just called him Waterford Crystal, so they couldn't drop his name.
Michael Young does it with his Fisher horses. Richard Vogel, yes, in the top-rated horses in the field today. United
Touch, yes. Here we go. Like this is, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm saying it. We're on a stream here, so no one can see this. This horse is Stride. Like,
it's incredible.
If you had to ride the terrier, the relentless terrier that is Indiana, or the monster that is United Touch, which would you ride, Charlotte?
I could not ride one side of United Touch.
You have to take funny old lines, don't you? I can't wait to see what he does at the shoulder.
Is that because he's so big?
Yeah, he's making room. You see where he can't take a stride out, he has to create extra distance by basically meandering.
Oh no, he's in 4. 1, 2, 3.
But he does it so softly. Like it's an exhibition for anyone who has a horse that they need to shorten. If you try and shorten with strength, you lock the horse, you lock their back, and you stiffen them. And not only do they lose their jump, but they actually don't end up shortening the stride that much. You have to be able to shorten with softness. And Richie Vogel just manages this so well. And then he's a master tacticianer as well with how he uses his lines and his little wiggles.
He won the Grand Prix in Geneva with 13 less strides in the jump off. Stadium. 13.
Wasn't there a place, like, wasn't there? I have to look at the stride analysis that you showed me again, but there was one place where I think it was like 9 strides versus 5 strides or something insane. Like I just couldn't come. No, that had to be on a turn. I think it was on. I watched it back.
It was on a turn. Yeah,
it's on a turn, but like still, bravery.
It's incredible. And I don't think many riders could do it apart from Richard. It's an incredible skill to have.
Guys, we're getting ready for new updated win chances. I think I'm going to have to go take a break because I'm getting very close to the time that my child is going to be coming out.
Yeah, no, we'll drop off now. Last call.
Legacy. Well, we're going to watch Legacy, aren't we? But
we'll watch Legacy. But let's sort of begin our sign off here. What that highlighted there, that clear for Germany. We know that Marcus Enning had 2 rails down. But Germany could still now finish on 0 because of Zinedine and Philip Weiss out there, their 4th line riders to come. We've got Legacy in the ring.
Also absolutely flying it a la Garant, Indiana. And I think at the moment... Legacy,
no, there's more control here than...
Yeah, no, it's a bit slower.
Have they won the Grand Prix in Rotterdam?
Yeah,
they were second. They were second last year, and Daniel won it on a different horse the year before. But yeah,
what did he win? What did he win last night already? Though, was that incredible, or was that?
That was incredible. Yeah, same breeder as Garant, by the way. Incredible.
Sam, I was surprised. He is like Sam. Yeah. This horse is moving.
Oh yeah, she's moving. I mean, she's way inside the time going to be, but like, and it's a perfect round. I mean, this is everything you want to see from your Paris selection. Ooh. Yeah, we're still okay. But okay, to begin our sign off here, that's a clear round for Ireland. That's under 70 seconds. That is way inside the time. Ireland now also, like Germany, can still finish on 0 despite having an 8-fault round. So my question to you before we leave: drop score.
Whoa, we're in. New win chances. Sorry, ask the question. I'll tell you after. But new win chances are in. New favorite. New favorite.
Okay, you go. Just go on.
France 20% win chance, Brazil 18% win chance, Sweden down to a 14% win chance, Netherlands 12, USA 9, Germany 9, then Britain, then Ireland, then Belgium, then Switzerland are gone to 0.
What are Britain and Ireland on? 6?
Britain and Ireland are 7 and 6, 7 for Brits, 6 for Ireland. So we're talking about percentage win chances. But the big news there is that the Swedes are down 9%. And the French are up 9%.
It's not unheard of. Go on, Charlotte. Go.
Well, is that because we expected Indiana to jump clear and we don't expect Zucchero to jump clear for the Swedes?
Yeah.
That's it.
I mean, yeah, higher
That's the
ratings.
big drop.
Yeah, because there's all exactly all expected clear rates, all predicted.
It's interesting.
Harry Charles coming in as last the fourth line riders, but we will. It is not. It's common that we will have a 50% favorite, someone more likely to win than not by this stage in a competition. Our favorite is at 20%, so still an 80% chance we lose. I say this time and again about equestrian sports. It's one of the easiest sports for the best team to lose, which is pressure and excitement. It makes these team competitions so good. The question I was asking you, where do you stand? Traditional 3 from 4 or the Olympic format of 3 from 3? Forget the politics, forget the fact that, squad depth and all that, and more nations and less top riders from the top nations. As a spectacle, as a fan, doing what we're doing now and watching a Nations Cup, 3 from 4 or 3 from 3, Charlotte?
I like the traditional 3 from 4.
Safe answer. Diarmuid Byrne?
I absolutely love 3 from 3. I think
it's so punishing. It's so
because you get so many of these shows. Like I don't know. Like I think it's hard in the Olympics. Ireland being an example of last year. Like you work so hard for a big Olympic cycle, and like when you work in horse sport, and we talk about the amount of jeopardy that's in a single round anyway. So for one injured horse or for one horse, like to have he lost a shoe or something, didn't he? Wasn't that what happened? Like he hurt himself. Bad jump. Ireland last Olympics. Do you remember?
Yeah, overjumped a triple bar.
And that's why I do like the 3 from 4 format from a horse welfare point of view, where you can just pull out. And it doesn't.
There's no excuse for the horse welfare type thing. I mean, that's on riders. Like if you feel that your horse shouldn't continue, then that's up to you. I think once you're in the sport and you understand the sport, like what's just happened there, where the Brits are now on 0 after Tim Gredley was on 2. You get it. You can do all the maths. You understand drop scores and you understand why the Brits are still on 0. It's fine. And also, I think the natural equestrian fan also likes the fact of going like, oh, that, like it's a horse sport. Moments happen with horses. And if like the Penelope Leprevaux moment or the Alejandro moment, as you're saying, if that happens, you're like, oh, well, at least you don't completely sink your whole team's Olympics in one moment. It feels like as equestrian fans, we're really happy to forgive those, to have a little bit of leeway to allow for that. And we're used to the calculation. But for new fans, for growing the sport and for jeopardy and for excitement, and yes, as a rider, it's horrible to have no drop score. But as a sport, I think it's phenomenal. And at the flip side, from a rider,
your riders in Kevin Stout, Olympic chance.
But the flip side is, from a rider point of view, is you give credit to survival. You give credit to fighters. You give credit to the people who don't, when their horse goes cold and backs off, that they don't end up stopping or they don't end up falling off. They can actually make, maybe even if it was a rail, but they save the situation. So
don't give me 22, but if it's 4, get me home at 4.
Yeah. You give credit to different attributes, the fighter.
Well, look, we're about to see it play out in Paris in a couple of weeks, which is the fun. We'll get to see it live in terms of what it means. I like it as a format.
See how much these riders have to ride down to the open water sometimes. And it differs. Like Indiana, you're nearly saying, whoa. Kevin Stout there with Scuderia 1918 Viking de la Roserie. Oh, so many words. We never had the horse name situation discussion, but like that's long. The Viking. The Frenchman on the Viking, they're clear. And I think they're going to Paris.
Do you?
I think they might be going to Paris, yeah.
I hope
Which
they're
would be
going to
hard for
Paris.
FX.
I just hope they're going to Paris for his sanity.
I think it's valid. So I think it's a really interesting discussion and this is where we'll leave you in a second. We'll let you go home to your child. But for an analytics company that work with about 10 Olympic teams in the sport, I think it's really important that we put this message out there that there will be times when the horse with the highest form may not get selected from behind a horse who's close. It's all because it's not, we're dealing in gray. It's not just black and white. The striker that scored 10 goals in a season is not necessarily a better player than the striker who scored 9 or the striker who scored 8. There's a big picture that goes on here. Understanding chance, understanding variance, understanding what that means with regards to future performance and how much the past numbers are meaningful with regards to future performance. It's all really, really important. It all helps you make an informed decision. And there's still going to be times when that intuitive gut instinct, expert analysis, expert interpretation of the data is going to be required. I think the French might have one of those interpretations to make. Folks, as the stunning and beautiful Gilles Thomas enters the ring, I think we're going to exit the live stream. Final thoughts. Who's going to win? Who's going to win in Rotterdam? Charlotte?
Are we meeting again for the next version? Are you finishing Friday night, like Friday Night Lights?
I'll be teaching. I'll be imparting wisdom. You guys can do what you like. You just won't have me.
Charlotte, let's not rule it out, depending on what your Friday night looks like. Mine is currently like
my Friday night is usually so crazy.
Mine's like fish fingers and chips with my kids. So what's important here is that lots of these events pass me by where I'm like, I'll catch up with it after. And that's the killer of it for show jumping, when you feel that. Whereas the very nature of sitting here and going through this round one and understanding it and talking about it and letting the stories unfold means I really do want to come back for round 2. I actually do care how this unfolds. I care whether Pedro Venice jumps clear with Nimrod Demuse, and I care if France can win this, if the Dutch could maybe win it on home soil. I care. So I better surf that wave while I have it. If you want to meet again, Charlotte, I definitely would. I think it's great.
Okay, we will.
That sounds like the end of a first date.
So Charlotte, look, I've enjoyed myself.
I don't know how you feel about it.
Look, if you haven't enjoyed it, that's fine. We don't have to meet again.
No pressure. No pressure.
It's the end of first dates, isn't it? Yeah, I'll go first.
It's the speech. In this modern busy world, it's hard to make connections.
Me too, D. Me too. And while Gilles Thomas and Hermitage Cologne are jumping a beautiful clear here.
Yeah.
We
will meet
again.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful round.
Yeah.
Let's see where this unfolds. It's an interesting Rotterdam LLN. It's got all the talent. It's got a high clear rate in round 1.
Guys, there's going to be a jump off.
Remember, we don't have drop scores in the next round. So.
Oh, because it's LLN. You've got both. You got 3 from 4 and 3 from 3. Huge insight.
We're going to lose.
I need to cancel my lessons. I need to tell them not to turn up.
We're losing 2 teams and a rider per team.
I won't do that. I'm professional, by the way. Anyone who's
per team.
Appalled.
When you think you're losing 2 teams and a rider per team, LLN is probably the best format.
It is very interesting as a format. I think it's very exciting, and it does
well, you get the best of all the worlds.
Do we know who we're losing? But you need to. But do you know what though? So many people in the sport are saying, "Oh, it's confusing. They've brought out another format." And the
This is
whole
good.
point, the
This
point
is a
that you
good one.
made, Urikas is and
We
how
can't
it's
go
run.
now. We have to wait. We have to wait for it. But
wanna-
this is why the sport is good. We have to wait for Harry
But you
Sport.
have to get in. But your point was correct, D. It's so easy to be like, oh, it's another 5-star 160. I mean, you know, Rotterdam, we're talking about the Grand Prix, we're talking about the Nations Cup. Oh, it's an LLN now, is it? Is it global? Is it World Cup? Is it this? Is it that? And people just let it pass them by. You got to get into it because it is absolutely phenomenal when you're in this.
I think that was Hermitage Clown's ticket to Paris booked
Belgium could
earlier.
get dropped
Now we're
out.
watching Europe.
Belgium could get dropped out of this on a time penalty.
Hmm.
Yannicka Sprung ain't going to get a chance to put the wrong right. She ain't going to get a chance to right the wrong.
Would you put her back on the team if you only can put 3 riders on?
Yeah,
Would
they're
you
not
let
here.
her?
They're not here to. They didn't put on Fuchs or Gerdat. They're here for information. They're not here for. But Pius has probably done the job there.
Oh, that's a fence for Urikas.
How have I ended up behind you? Or have I missed that? Like, I'm just. Where did he have that?
Middle of the combination, which we haven't seen come down at all.
Derm's worries. That time penalty. The Netherlands now on 1. Kim Mm's 1. Harry Smulders is the drop score. Will he be dropped in the second round? Who's getting dropped? Have they decided yet? Did they decide pre or did they decide?
No,
Charlotte.
they decide.
Lads, it's a great format. I even
cameras-
the decision making.
The cameras are panning to a little field just outside, like I don't know where, but not too far away. And it's zooming in on Monica's face, and he's slowly got this little smile on the sides of his face, and he's going, "Don't forget
What
about me."
I'm learning
to make
today
them,
is that I have to shut my mouth because everything that I've said in the podcast over the past couple of weeks, the exact opposite is happening.
Urikas has 4. You don't not take a horse to Paris on the basis of a single rail in the middle of a combination. If Urikas is the plan, then we can't leave. This is good. You want to leave, but you can't leave. Zucchero next, and this is.
The cameras are panning to a primary school.
a creche.
A creche in Dublin. And 2 small children. Leo
Are left
Byrne and
outside in the
Roosevelt.
cold.
Just one child. She won't be left outside, but
Dad.
she gets collected at 5 o'clock, and I am 35 minutes away, and it is 16:43. So that even basic maths doesn't work. So she's going to be knocking around with. But Zucchero is in the arena.
He's floating around. Like I think if he looks down, he can't even see the jumps. They're so far away. He was over the first 3.
He was brilliant. He was amazing in Gothenburg at the start of the year. Like, he was such a Charlotte. He's actually not one of Charlotte's horse crushes. He's the opposite. Whatever the opposite is of a horse crush, Charlotte has been saying.
No, it's not the opposite. It's not the opposite. I just I am not.
You're not on our bandwagon.
Crush.
Yeah,
just keep watching. Don't look at it. Look at this. But
I'm more impressed with Rolf.
Yeah, he's impressive too.
Like, Rolf is what's impressive here in front of me right now. Yeah, more than Zucchero.
I made him the captain of my Ryder Cup team.
I'm going to get a t-shirt. Rolf can ride. That was easy. That was easy. That was confident.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Sweden back on 0.
Back on track. That was a good moment though in the competition. Like, and I think we're probably the only poor souls who will have felt it, where actually that big wobble happened, where the French and the Brazilians went higher, climbed above the Swedes in win chance. It'll probably.
I think everybody else is saying anyone can win is all that's happening, and it is true. But it's great to have favorites, and it's great to quantify.
No, but the dip happened after Indiana, where you had, as Charlotte said, you had the Zucchero form coming out of Rome, coupled with the fact that we expected an Indiana clear, we didn't get it.
Are Belgium going out on They're not going out, are they? No, because
Belgium-
Belgium are on 1, Netherlands are on 1.
Belgium are currently going out, I think, are they not?
Switzerland are definitely going out because
Yeah, they're gone.
They're gone.
Brazil are
Then
on
we
0. They're
have-
through.
2 teams on 1.
Guys, it could be
Belgium and the Netherlands.
Ireland. Could it be Ireland?
Yeah, Sweden are on 0. France produced 4 clears.
Keane has to go clear if otherwise they do
Yeah,
go
yeah.
out. Yes.
Yeah.
And if they go out,
And
are we? Oh no, we're still fine on the going. We're going to the final. We just won't be going as the leaders.
McLean needs to. So the the Brits are on 0 as
This
well.
is big round. This is a
McLean
big
needs
round
a
for
clear as
Paris.
well.
McLean needs a clear,
And-
otherwise they go behind. Otherwise they could go out on 4.
Hey, he needs it to maintain his kind of ticket to France as well, does he not?
I would say so. I never pegged Callis as the horse he would take to Paris.
I mean, you would think they want to take McLean, so they need him to jump clear. That's my feeling.
It's hard without noise, but that looked like quite a touch on number 2. I could be wrong because I don't have any sound on.
They haven't got that much 164. They jumped to Ocala, LLN. 1 clear. Okay.
This.
Oh, never mind. 2nd in a 5-star Grand Prix in Wellington. Could be Callis.
But isn't this an example of an exquisite horseman? You know, where like you talked about Rolf and Zucchero and how impressed you are with Rolf. I mean, I think in this partnership, if the baseline, if it's half rider, half horse, oh, there we go. I mean, I think this is 90% rider.
Maybe.
There's a railgun. They've had 4. The US potentially get knocked out here, and it's McLean, Ward, and Lord Kraut who have added penalties to the US score.
Yeah, they're out.
They're not definitely out. Ireland could go behind. There are other teams who could drop behind them, but they're currently in the not getting knocked out of this.
Pedro Vinícius is not going to jump for Brazil.
Makes sense.
That's a good call. They don't need him to. That's what happened for the Irish in Ocala. McLean, Cian O'Connor didn't have to jump the first round. They did need him.
Yeah. Belgium are definitely through. Netherlands are definitely through.
I tell you what, I'm disappointed for Callie and Jessica Springsteen in that moment because they're the 2 that would have liked to shine here.
Yeah.
And they delivered their part of the bargain. Actually, I think both those rounds are pretty exceptional.
Okay, here's the story about one of Ireland, the US, or Germany will not jump again. Now, Germany and Ireland could finish on 8 there, but they both currently have 8 faults. But Ireland and Germany have another rider to come. Actually, you're right. Switzerland could finish on 4, so there's a chance that Switzerland could pull this out of the hat. But that's very, very unlikely. I think Swiss would need a clear, and Ireland and Germany would both need to add 8, if not. I don't know how they split the 4 faults if they're tied on 4. We're probably going to find out quite soon.
I think it's time, accumulated time.
You kind of have to watch, don't you? The last Germans in a day, a horse that I certainly feel should be on the German team. Could be on the German team.
I think will be on the German team. It's the form horse. It's the form horse of the sport, not just Germany. It's the form horse of the sport.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Individual European medal. I think Sunday will be there.
Yeah, agreed. Cian O'Connor with the Yves Douai. I mean, we were all saying who, the where, the what?
Well, it was here. It was clear rounds here. It was here and then Dublin. That was, I think, all we were saying, that there just wasn't the.
In the words of Marcus Swell, he pulled out this yoke no one ever heard of and jumped quite well. No, he didn't say that. I'm just pretending. I'm just doing his accent. Edward Schmidt is clear. It's tense. It's getting tense because if Germany or like we're gonna start looking at times. I can't work this out. This does give you a flavor of the tech that would be required to do all these projected win chances. I'm briefly trying to add up times. Richie Vogel was so fast, 68.7.
What's fascinating there though is he looks slow because of that. Like
because of the stride.
When you think of Indiana, what was Indiana, or what was Cali's? What was Garant? I think that was or Legacy.
Indiana was 70.65.
Like I can't get around.
Garant was 71.25.
Oh, sure. I don't have a clue. And then Legacy?
Legacy 69.
Yeah, Legacy was smooth.
Sweden are ahead of the US on time. Okay.
I think Germany are fastest of all. So look, Weiss out. I think he's probably jumping clear, but even if he has a rail, I think that's right.
Swiss are ahead of the US on time.
So US are probably out here.
Outside of LLN,
Germany and Ireland just need to jump clear. Like they have to have clears.
But if you're watching this, or if you get a chance to hear this back, or if you get a chance, Zinde and Weishout are about to jump, and we should just enjoy this. And it's
he's not going for time anyway. He's pretty confident. He is sauntering to the triple bar.
You would be with a horse like this.
Whoa!
Big spook at the shrubbery.
The flowers.
Oh, Zinedine is not 100% concentrating in this arena. I have to say, looking left and right, quite a bit going on here. I think they're going to have a rail. But Germany have had the fastest time to date, but this doesn't look that fast. I think the Swiss will be faster than the Irish. The Swiss could get into round 2 here. Now it's getting easier. Now they're settling into the round.
It's only a young horse, really. She's only 10. He's only 10.
Whoa! It's a moment. Oh, the first part of the double goes the vertical. Second last fence, Zinedine has had a rail. 72.62 is a slow enough time, and it puts them behind Switzerland. It puts them behind the Swiss.
I don't think so.
2:11
on the screen.
On the screen,
they were still ahead, Sam.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily.
But I see on Longines timing, they're not ahead of Switzerland. They're behind Switzerland.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
I think Germany could be out here. I think Germany could have gone from.
For God's sake, like the amount of money that gets spent on these series.
He's having a rant.
That is terrible for telling the story of the competition. Like not only like they're showing us scores which are flat scores, doesn't tell us if people have a drop score that's 0 or not. And then all you ask is that if you are going to give us flat scores, that at least get them right.
Rank 9 now on the screen. Yeah, they are out. Now, Ireland has to go clear or they will be out.
Yeah, so
but if anyone can do it,
the US are definitely out, and Germany are in the.
Does anybody else notice? Like, is this coming across?
They would, Jay. If anyone's studying it, they'd be getting it. They just have to keep some of it. If they're good on their competitions.
Cian O'Connor for Ireland. By Nicole Walker herself.
Better turn it down in case someone sues me for copyright or something. Right, here we go.
What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I think she goes clear. I think she's.
I don't know.
I have 1000% faith in Cian O'Connor.
I know. I mean,
If I could pick my first 3 riders in the world, to be in this position where you must jump clear to keep them in, I'd pick him.
It's contagious. The because that, you know, I think that's Michael Blake's faith in him as well.
Yeah,
and you can see it, like it's just timing again. He does it like there's data to back it up in terms of like he'll bring lower rated horses to big competitions and continuously overperform. So like he has an MO. Oh my god! Now what the time's doing because he has an MO, but he's also at the last. I think he's okay. I think they're going to be okay.
I think it's okay. I think it's
going to be okay. They've had a rail, but I mean that's still. But they could have won the competition. That's them gone from a clean sheet to a rail. That'll hurt. Cian will be. You know, I know that's not his Olympic horse. I know he's kept his team in the competition going into round 2, and with no drop score in round 2, again the jeopardy is there, and we could see a team on 4 win it. It's less likely. Ireland, the hopes are alive, but they're not on 0. What a first round it's been in Rotterdam. Phenomenal stuff.
Very good. Very good competition. I enjoyed it.
2 hours of streaming. We're having a break. Folks, thank you for joining us. See you again soon. I'm out.